Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to Build with Timmy. First of all, I have two exciting things to share with you guys today. First, we are on our way to 1K subscribers. Yes. And secondly, we have a video that has almost 5K views. Can you believe that? First of all, let's just give glory to God and thank God for that, because it was God that even helped start this journey and has gotten us here. And then I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you beautiful people that come back here week after week to come and hear what I have to say. Thank you so much. And I hope that these words are having positive impact in your lives. Today's video is one that is supposed to make every single one of us pause, think and reflect about how we are living our lives. And that is, what would you be remembered for? We have to talk about this because no matter how long we live on this planet, no matter how many years we stay for, one thing is certain: we are all going to live here. And we're not going to live here alive. So it's so important how we choose to live our lives every single day. And Mae West says this completely by saying that yes, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. So there is a question I want you to consistently think about. What would your fourth generation say about you? The answer to that question is the difference between living recklessly and living intentionally. And unfortunately for our generation, we currently live in a time where it's compulsory for you to live intentionally. Because whether you're a teenager today, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, one day you will be 80 and you will have to defend that raunchy picture you just posted or that stupid thing you said online simply because you were chasing clout or social media validation. At least, even if you won't make the life of your children better, don't make it harder. Every single one of us do not have to have a YouTube channel, speaking engagement, a public platform or any other thing. But even within that your local community, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you have to impact your kids positively. Even if you are just someone who volunteers for something, you have to be remembered to have been such a resourceful person. When they talk about you, what story will your life tell? And this knowledge also helps us to improve our self-worth. It means that your worth is not going to be tied to how much you have in your bank account. Whether you're rich, whether you're broke, you will still carry yourself because you will know that you are worth more than what money can buy. There are examples of this. There is Nelson Mandela of South Africa. There is Mother Teresa, who never had a biological child of her own. And there is our very own Ibidunni Ighodalo that died in 2020 during the pandemic. Even though I didn't know her personally or have a personal relationship with her, all I knew about her was on social media. But her death touched me deeply because of the kind of life she lived. And that is what true impact is. You get to touch the lives of people who never even met you. So I charge you today, every single one of us, we have one single mandate on this planet: to leave this place better than we met it. The same way a good legacy can open doors for you and your generation is the same way a bad legacy can shut doors. And examples of this are Adolf Hitler, Osama bin Laden. These are people that I am sure their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren have ensured they have gone to change their name and ensure they have disassociated themselves from those names as much as possible because of the negative impact and the negative lives those people lived. And please, as you're living intentionally, ensure you are documenting every moment, every milestone, every memory. Ensure you have a record of it. You see this video right here that you're watching? It is my own legacy. It is me documenting a moment in my life. And you should do that too. Another benefit of keeping record is that history almost always repeats itself. Aside from technological advancements, things really do not change. And that is why most successful people in the world, they are great students of history. There is nothing you're going through today that someone has not gone through in the past. Also, journaling is so good and so important, not just for the future generation, but for yourself. It helps you to measure progress. And I say this from personal experience. Whenever I read my journal from few months ago, years ago, it makes me proud of who I am now. Now, let's talk about the benefits of keeping proper records of our lives and living with the end in mind. Number one, it brings clarity. and it helps you focus. One of the most impactful books I have read is Beyond Entrepreneurship. I was so shocked when I was reading that book, and the writer challenged us to write a 100-year vision for our company. And I was taken aback because up till that point, I had never thought about my organization beyond 10 years. And this was a major challenge to me, like thinking 100 years ahead. And that way, it has helped me to start building more intentionally. It multiplies wisdom and wealth across generations. One family that always busts my head every time is the Rockefeller family. They have a foundation that is over a century old. That's because John Rockefeller created structure. He ensured that there was plan, there was documentation, there was structure. Now compare that with our African families, that the breadwinner dies and everything just goes in shambles. Children that were going to private school before end up in public schools because there was no record keeping, no documentation. There was no plan on what the succession was going to be when they died. It gives you peace and you never have to panic, because when you're living with the end in mind, you are always planning. You're always a few steps ahead of the crowd. It defines who you are and makes you identifiable. Nobody is going to give you a wrong identity. An example of this is Martin Luther King, who had his letters, his videos, his documentation, and that helps us to understand who he really was and the kind of life he lived. It builds continuity and strengthens family. In your own family, it might not be you guys setting up a foundation. It can be something as simple as a yearly Christmas party or a consistent dinner. I remember growing up, during Salah breaks, my dad will take every single one of us in our family and drive us all the way to Osun State and ensure that we're spending Salah with our cousins, and that helped us to build our family and bond together. This is something you can imbibe in your family as well. Finally, it helps you to redefine success. You stop competing, you stand on your own, and success means something entirely different to you. Now let's talk about the consequences of living recklessly and not documenting your journey. Number one, there will be confusion and disorder. There are a lot of families that have collapsed now because there was no adequate documentation. There are families where their breadwinner had a lot of money, but nobody knew about it, and now the banks are the ones holding on to that money. Two, it leads to generational suffering. For instance, in Africa, most of our African independent heroes and icons left no memoir about themselves, and now the stories are told from foreign perspectives that could have been diluted and not telling the true, authentic stories. Also, when you don't properly document and pass down things to your children, you will see that by the third generation, the wealth is gone, because the first generation created the wealth, the second generation enjoyed the wealth, while the third generation squandered it. So by the fourth generation, they are hustling again. Four, you become very, very easy to exploit because there is no documentation. When you are doing business with people, it's word of mouth. You easily trust them. You have nothing to hold on to, no evidence. Also, you are unable to thrive when there is season of famine or drought, because when there was abundance, you squandered it. Finally, the moment you leave this planet, you become forgotten, regardless of how much you have. We have so many rich people that nobody even knows about today because they did not live intentional lives that was documented. For you to understand how big this is, look at the holy books. That's the Quran, the Bible, the Torah. All of these books, aside being religious books, they are also books of history because they documented the lives that was lived by some certain people at some certain time. So now, how can we live with the end in mind? Number one, write your vision and name your legacy. Sit down and decide, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want people to say about you? When you decide what you want your children, your community to say about you, then you start living your daily life with that behavior. Two, manage your money wisely. Start thinking about succession. Have a will, create a trust. Let there be a plan for how you intend to transfer this wealth you are creating to the next generation. Three, create family traditions. I remember growing up, every single person's birthday was going to be celebrated at a restaurant by my parents. And that is a tradition I intend to imbibe in my family too going forward. So you should have a family tradition. It doesn't have to be you guys going out on birthdays. It can just be as simple as a dinner every quarter, but ensure that there are traditions that they will continue to uphold long after you're gone. Document your work. Whether you're a business owner or you work 9 to 5, ensure you document it. There are people who are passed off from promotion simply because they do not document the things that they are doing. They just, oh, I am working hard, I am working hard. Ensure that as you're working hard, you're showing to people, you're showing the evidence of the hard work that you're putting in. Ensure you're having contract, especially you business owners. You're having contract, you're having adequate documents with everybody you're doing business with. 5, practice mortality. Have a day that you set aside, that you write down the list of people you want to forgive, the list of people you need to apologize to, the list of people you need to say thank you to. You need to have a day that you ask yourself that if today were my last day, what am I going to say to the people that are around me? You can do this once a month, you can do this once a quarter, but ensure you're living your life with the end in mind. 6, be accountable. You can either do this by having a friend, an accountability partner, maybe your spouse or anybody. But if you do not have anybody you can do this with, have a journal and be very honest with yourself. Have a giving policy. By God's grace, in December, we are going to do a video on giving. Giving is a cheat code. Have people who are just grateful to God that you exist on this planet. Take care of yourself. Eat well. Rest well. Take good care of your body. Exercise. Finally, ask God for help and direction. You need God, or else you'll just be building, and then you're building for nothing. So you need that guidance, you need that direction to know what to build and how to build. Wow, this was a very heavy topic, but it's needed to be said. We are all here to build something. We are all here to create impact. We are all here to make this world a better place. So let's be intentional. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And that's it on this episode of Build with Temi. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and feel free to send an email to me at buildwithtemi@gmail.com. And also, about sending the email, please send an email with the subject and the body of what you want to discuss. You cannot send an email to me and ask me that you want to have a meeting. I work for Star Attorneys, and that means that my hours are charged. So to have a meeting, a consultation to discuss with me would come at a price. So if you have anything you want to discuss with me, you should put it in the body of your email. Let the topic say exactly what you want to discuss, and then I will get to it and respond to it, instead of you asking me if you can have a meeting. Yes, you can have a meeting, but you have to go through Star Attorneys because my hours are charged. Till next time, I remain Temitope Odeyinka. See you next week.